we all need them. We really do. We all need strategies for living.
Ain't it the truth?
So are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I don't think they're ready today because
No?
things have changed a little.
Yeah?
With it being football season.
Oh, okay, I see where you're going.
A little different now, so they may not be ready.
And it's hot.
It's
It's
pretty hot.
I think we broke a record or something today.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
One bit.
106 in the shade or something like that. Hey, folks, welcome into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into this edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. He is Jimmie Bryant, Ph.D. That means he produces, he hosts, and he directs. That's right. And, we can complain about whatever. We're complaining about the heat right now, but, later on we'll be complaining about, I don't know, the cold.
You want to bet? I'm sure I will.
Here's the bottom line, though. We just have to remember and put it all in perspective.
There we go.
This too shall pass, right?
There we go.
Doesn't matter what's going on. The only thing that we can depend on as a constant in this thing called life, and remember, IF is right in the middle of life, right? So
That's
the only
right.
thing that we can depend on is change.
That's it.
But sometimes the changes are good. Like, this has been a great week on strategy. We've got a brand new sponsor.
And, one heck of a sponsor, too. Just a great sponsor.
Yeah. So, Prize Fest, Prize 2023, we're talking a festival of film, of food, of music, of fashion, of stand-up comedy. This thing has just grown and grown and grown. Yes, it's a competition. Prize is a competition. It's a festival, and it features 5 creative disciplines. We're talking film, food, music, fashion, comedy, over $100 grand in cash and prizes. Each discipline, rules and deadlines are different. They're unique, but they all of them are designed to celebrate and elevate
That's really
the
what it
creative
is.
work. It really is. And, man, you pointed something out yesterday, Jimmie, that I think is extremely important, and that is this is unique. Shreveport, Louisiana, Shreveport, USA, we have something very unique here. There's only a handful of these all over the nation, right?
That's right. And the world even.
There's
just not a lot of experiences like this.
But we have it right here. Prize Fest is way more than just contest. It's a festival, and who doesn't love a good festival, right? And it's a contest, and it's a festival, and so much more. Look, it's coming up. The Festival of Film, Food, Music, Fashion, and Stand-Up Comedy coming up October the 13th through the 21st. You can see the schedule. You can buy passes, and it's time to do that. PrizeFest.com is where you go. And so we appreciate Prize Fest being a brand new sponsor here on Strategies for Living.
So thankful for them.
And they join Azalea Cleaners, and they join the Robinson Film Center. They join Pintail Roofing, Learning RX, Hempress Cannabis with Love, 3766 Uri Drive in Shreveport, and the Shreveport Little Theater, along with Prize Fest. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? You brought the notes, right?
My dog ate?
I hope you had the camera on your face. You mean you didn't plan to this evening's show?
I had it all put together,
and then the dog just
came and chomped him up.
There it goes. Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's do. I want to talk about some things that if you see someone doing these things, these behaviors, then you're truly at peace with yourself. And maybe not just one, but several of them, or maybe all of them. You know how we say feelings follow behavior, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if you're not at peace, then this gives you some ideas of things that you can plug in to do. And if you do these enough, again, feelings follow behavior. So you do some of these things, then you're at peace. And so, for
at the very least, we're headed there.
Exactly. And I mean, for a lot of us, just being at peace with ourselves, we think of as an unreachable goal, but it's not.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I might even say for a lot of us, being at peace, finding peace is a triumph.
Amen. To find out, how, some people would say, well, how do I know if I'm at peace? Well, listen up, because we're going to show you if you're doing these things, you're probably at peace with yourself. So we will take a break, and we will come back, and we'll dive in to some things that you'll do. The things that you do if you are at peace with yourself. That's this evening on Strategies for a Living. We're going to take a quick break and let Jimmie see if he can find those notes.
I really don't make
now that he knows what we're going to do, maybe he can find the notes. If not, I don't know what he's going to do. Probably we won't see him at peace, though. We'll be back. More strategies to come. Yeah, they say feelings follow behavior. Welcome back. Welcome into Strategies for Living here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Jimmie, Bryant, David McMillian. We're talking about, well, if you're showing these behaviors, then you're most likely at peace with yourself.
Okay.
And, it's not an unreachable goal. Some people think it might be, but, if you tune in to what we're going to talk about this evening here, maybe you see how close you are to inner peace, or maybe even you've reached the goal already and maybe don't even know it. So let's talk about some of the things.
I think that's possible. I believe there's some out there who've
probably done that. Yeah. All right. So one of the things is the small moments, savoring the small moments. If you ask anybody who's really content, they're truly content with life, they will likely tell you, Jimmie, it's not the big things, it's the little moments that count. Don't do this if you're driving, but if you can, if you're listening where you can do this, close your eyes and try seeing, the highlight reel of your life. Like they show in the movies, right? When the protagonist their life is in danger and it's all flashing, right?
Yeah.
In front of them. And what do you see? You probably see a smile on your wife or husband or partner's face.
Or mother or father.
Yeah. Or maybe you see, you're in front of the ocean for the first time, right?
Mm.
And experience that, the sights and the sounds. Yeah. Or maybe your little dog or cat when you were little, your favorite pet. Or maybe your pet now,
Sure.
Yeah. What do you say? All of those things. Here's the bottom. Here's what I'm getting to. You aren't picturing going to work.
No.
You're probably not picturing the fabulous home you live in or the wonderful car you drive.
No.
Or not.
No.
Nothing like that. What you're doing is you're savoring the simple, the everyday experiences. And if you're doing that, you're at peace. You're already at peace with yourself. You're taking a moment to fully appreciate the taste of a wonderful meal, right?
Yeah.
Or the feeling of sunshine on your skin.
Or a cool breeze.
Or a cool breeze. Or listening to your love laugh, right?
Yeah.
Or your child laugh. I will never forget March the 6th, 1980, the birth of Kylene. Now, that was 43 plus years ago, right? Kylene would probably not like me announcing her age, but it is what it is. That was wow. Wow.
And, wow is right. Yeah.
And I was in the room for the birth of Desiree and Jonathan too, and it was wonderful and it was miraculous. But I had experienced, I had previous experience, so which I didn't have with Kylene, and wow. So those moments, those little moments, enrich our lives. Minimalism, embracing minimalism. People who are at peace don't need all the things, all the stuff, right?
Right.
Their homes typically aren't cluttered. At least not so much like the rest of ours, right? I'm not going to talk about mine. I'm not going to do that.
I'm pleading the fifth.
Yeah, we're hushing there. But how much do we talk, even if we don't do it, of simplifying our surroundings, reducing chaos, and this could be physical possessions, but in these days it could also be digital distractions or quote unquote possessions.
Yeah.
So minimalism creates this. It's a sense of clarity. It's a sense of calm. It's a sense of focus on your environment. In other words, on the now.
Yeah.
And when you stop chasing, the newest fill in the blank, whatever that is, house, car, whatever.
I mean, I'm going to say when you stop chasing rooms.
Yeah.
I'm going to the 3-room house.
Yeah. When you stop chasing the past and the future, then what's left? What's left is contentment.
It's now.
It's
here.
now, and it's contentment. And so you start being happy with with just what's in front of you. And that's now. That's here.
Right now. Yep.
And that's a present.
I love it.
Yeah.
It most certainly is.
It's a present. It's a precious present if we can embrace it, and that's embracing minimalism. Because there's only so much stuff that we can, put in our line of sight, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we say minimalism and we talk about now, and now is fleeting. Now is always passing, right?
Absolutely.
It's like trying to grasp the breeze. It's
Yep. You can't do it.
So,
Sometimes you just got to get away and have a great meal.
yes.
And when you get away and have a great meal, maybe you catch a movie too. Where could we do that? Where could we do? Oh, we could go to 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport, to one of our favorite places, Jimmy, the Robinson Film Center, because there's absolutely no place like the Robinson. You can go to the robinsonfilmcenter.org. You can find out what's playing right now.
Just a great selection of films.
Always a great selection of films. The Out North Louisiana Film Festival is coming up. You can get all the details about that at robinsonfilmcenter.org.
And for my Bond fans out there, Dr. No, September 19th.
Oh man. See, that's the deal with the Robinson. They're always doing stuff.
Yeah.
That that is entertaining. So check it out, robinsonfilmcenter.org. Join the crowd, join the fun, become a member, get discounts on movies, get concession upgrades, get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport, robinsonfilmcenter.org. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Jimmie Bryant, David McMillian. We're talking about, how do you know and what shows, what are the behaviors that you're likely to be showing if and when you are truly at peace with yourself. I mentioned a little bit, I was talking about embracing minimalism.
Yeah.
We've also talked about savoring the small moments, but I was talking about the digital distractions. So let's go ahead and go there next. people who are really at peace with themselves use technology deliberately. Okay, so, it's so easy. Pick the technology. I mean,
Sure.
we're in a technological age, right?
That's right.
There's gadgets and gizmos that have come out and better and faster and newer
Seems
come
like
out
there's
every
something
day.
for everything.
Yeah. But so technology can very easily distract us from what's really important in life. In fact, how can you even stay focused on anything when you're constantly looking at this? And I have to remind myself. Lauren reminds me sometimes to, put down the phone because I talk about this and it's there. It's in front of us. It's so tempting. But if I'm looking at my phone once every 3 minutes, I'm kidding myself if I'm telling myself I'm at peace. Not going to happen. So
and if you tell yourself you're truly paying attention to anything else.
Yeah. I think since the pandemic, we probably check our phones maybe 4 or 5 times more than we did prior to the pandemic. I'm just guessing there. I don't have any
I think there's
data
something
on
to
that.
I think there's something there.
The numbers I've heard are like, and this is incredible to me, 352 times a day now since the pandemic versus like 96 times a day before the pandemic, right? And I'm not gonna argue about those numbers, but that's what I've heard. That's not. You can't be at peace with yourself if you're checking your phone even 350 times a day.
You can't do it.
But even if you're checking your phone 96 times a day, my goodness, you're not at you're not at peace. So, but and I'm certainly not saying throw out technology. But if you use technology intentionally, if you use it mindfully, then we can say you're more at peace than the rest of the country, the rest of the nation, right?
Right.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about setting boundaries for screen time. We're talking about prioritizing meaningful interactions over the digital ones. I'm going to take the face-to-face every time over the digital interactions. And, we ensure then that technology enhances our well-being instead of distracting us.
Or interferes
or interfering with our well-being.
Yeah.
Rituals. Peaceful people have rituals. A lot of people get out of bed in the morning and, rush, get ready and go to work. I don't do that. I deliberately, and it's the most peaceful time of day for me because, generally it's just me. I'll get up first, and you generally even the dog sleeps a little later than I do. My alarm goes off at 6:45. Pocket probably doesn't meander in. Sometimes he's right up when I'm up, but a lot of times it's another 5 or 10 minutes. He wants to get his beauty sleep, right? But I get my coffee.
Yeah.
I read the paper. I generally check the headlines on one of the morning news shows, which I've recorded, and I've recorded it so I can go back and just check the headlines and see if I want to see any of the stories. I may sit there for a few minutes in the quiet, and I might think about what the day holds, maybe even what's the structure of my day, what's the intention that I have for that day. Then it's generally time to go make Lauren a cup of coffee and I take her a cup of coffee every morning. And that's a ritual for me.
Yeah.
That's something that I've created. It gives me a sense of continuity. It gives me a sense of comfort. It's also, it's a little bit of mindfulness, in there. Now, again, I catch up. I read the morning paper quickly. Doesn't take me too long.
Yeah.
Drink my coffee, and check the headlines. But I also, that's the start of my day. It's a little ritual, but I think creating rituals, and that's just an example of what I do.
Sure.
But you can have rituals not just in the morning, but all throughout the day. But when you're creating rituals, that's a behavior that shows you're at peace with yourself. Another thing that shows you at peace with yourself, a behavior that you see, is a connection with nature. Spending some time outdoors, reconnecting to the natural world. It'd be wonderful if we could do that every day.
It would.
It would. Getting into the green, getting into the water, or just being by the water.
Yeah.
Father Dwayne, who was here last night, is Lauren's uncle. He gave us for Christmas he gave one to Lauren and one to I, hummingbird feeders.
Oh, that's so awesome!
And I've never had them before, and so I couldn't wait to get them out. And he gave us the hummingbird feeders and a couple of big things of the food, the syrup.
Sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So got them out in the spring. Nothing. Got did a little research. Oh, it's about May that they're supposed to come. May came and went. Nothing. But now they're there.
It's special.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I'm having such a great time, watching the hummingbirds.
I
we
just
got
want
4
to say,
or 5 of them.
On a side note, it's so funny to me that such a beautiful, tender, fragile little creature can be so ornery.
You're right.
I mean, if one is at the feeder and another one comes, you've got to get out of here.
You better get the heck
hilarious.
out. It is. That's just part of the fun of what. But it's a connection with nature. So nature has this grounding effect. It reduces stress. It encourages a sense of awe and wonder. And we are so blessed to live in, we call this area, the Arklatex.
Yeah.
Louisiana's beautiful. Arkansas is beautiful.
That's right.
Texas is beautiful.
That's right.
In our particular area, we've got so many places that are less than a day's drive, much less than a day's drive.
And are very different.
And they're all very different, where we can experience, nature and beautiful, beautiful scenery, and unique scenery.
Absolutely.
So you have a connection with nature,
and I want to just encourage anyone to get a hummingbird feeder. It really is.
You may have to, like us, you may have to wait a while.
Sure,
they have to find it.
But once they find it, they'll keep coming back.
Yeah, I think I'm sure now they'll keep coming back because. All right, they'll spread the word. Whatever.
They do. Yeah.
I don't know if they'll get on the phone or what they'll do. Maybe they send little hummingbird emails or something. But
word gets around.
Yeah, word gets around. Another thing that people who are at peace with themselves do is they're thankful. They practice gratitude. Some people just regularly reflect on what they're grateful for. And, you could tie some of these together, like we were talking about the ritual. Yeah. You could make a ritual out of daily gratitude. What am I thankful for today? Maybe, or, looking back on yesterday, what was I thankful for today? So, and some people don't ever do that. And so who's more content and at peace with themselves? The ones that practice gratitude are the ones that don't ever practice. Yeah. Practicing gratitude shifts your focus. It shifts your focus naturally to the positive aspects of life, the blessings of life. And so that's going to enhance your overall mood. It cultivates within you this sense of joy. So on a regular basis, if you're reminiscing, if you're being thankful for what you have and what has happened in your life that's good and wonderful, that's a great way to ground yourself.
Isn't gratitude the key to making the most of our time in the room that is the past? Like when we spend our time, so there are three. I'm going back to the 3-room house.
3-room house. Yep.
If we're in the past room,
yep,
we shouldn't stay there long.
No,
we agree on that.
We agree. Yeah, but if you stay there too long, you'll probably get angry and depressed.
But the key to making the most of that time in the past room
is gratitude. I agree with you 100%, Jimmy. 100%. If you can discipline yourself while you're in the past to say, what am I thankful for in that room? Then that's a key to using that room in a much healthier way than most of us might typically do that. So if and again, this is how you can put some of these together.
Yeah.
We were talking about nature. If you practice gratitude and you couple that with nature walks, okay?
Yeah.
And spending quality time maybe with a significant other or with a family member, then then you're really kicking this into high gear.
Right.
Because you're coupling some of these things together. One of the things I'm thankful for?
What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for the Shreveport Little Theater because it's American theater at its best, and right this moment on stage. I mean, it's going on right now. Tonight's performance has started, but there's a performance tomorrow night. There's a performance Saturday night. There's a performance on Sunday, and we're talking about Always Patsy Cline, which is kicking off the 102nd season on stage at Shreveport Little Theater. You can get your tickets at ShreveportLittleTheater.com. And I saw that Lauren and I saw this play. It's fantastic. I know it bodes for a wonderful season because next is My Way, a music tribute to Frank Sinatra.
Can't miss.
Yeah. The Wonderettes in December, 5 women wearing the same dress in January, Dial M for Murder in February, and then Jimmy Buffett's Escape to Margaritaville.
That's right.
In April. Wow. The 102nd season, the 23-24 season at Shreveport Little Theater. American theater at its best. ShreveportLittleTheater.com. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Jimmie, Bryant, David McMillian. We're talking about the behaviors that you're going to show if you are likely at peace with yourself. I tell you, you're exploring and you're cultivating passions. You know, exploring things that are unfamiliar to you, or activities that will strike up your creativity.
Yeah.
That promotes learning. It keeps your life fresh. It keeps freshness in your life.
Like the way you said that, freshness. Yeah,
freshness. People at peace dedicate time and effort to activities that really resonate with their passions, you know?
Yeah.
And so cultivating those passions gives a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment, and it allows them to express their authentic self, who they really are.
And be willing to step out of your comfort zone a little.
Yeah.
There's opportunities in those, there's opportunities in the unknown, especially as it relates to this.
Yes.
I've got a great example.
Great.
I'm a musician.
Yep.
And recently I had some gentlemen locally come and ask me to head up shooting a film for them, an independent film for them.
I think that's awesome.
Which is not what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have some training.
But you know how to do it.
I know how to do it. And so I said yes. And I dove in, and it's been more rewarding than I expected.
Yep.
And
been fun, hasn't it?
It's been fun.
It's stirred your creativity and your sense of passion.
I mean, it absolutely. A good stir.
Yeah.
Because now I feel energy in other mediums and in other places.
Places of creativity begets creativity.
Absolutely.
Passion begets passion. I agree. And just naturally, when you start stirring the creative juices, and you start stirring the passionate part of you, it just gets bigger and bigger and multiplies, and multiplies. Yeah,
it does. I started working on that film, and
I hope you're going to share more with us as as it comes out. I hope you'll share some with us.
By the time it was done, I'd written 2 more scripts.
There you go. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. All right. Shifting to the other side of that is solitude and reflection. People who are at peace enjoy, moments where they can, just self-reflect and sit in solitude, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. Quiet contemplation, meditation, those moments allow you to connect with deeper thoughts, not the surface ones that go bzzz all day, right? But the deeper thoughts, the deeper emotions, the deeper aspirations.
It allows you to turn some of that noise down.
Back. Yeah. So, and a lot of us are very busy. We have busy days, and so, we have less time for moments of uninterrupted solitude, right? Yeah. So when we get them, we appreciate it even more.
I'm going to challenge everybody. I think that whereas we are all busy, I think we do all have the time. I think that I think that it's so noisy that it's jarring to us to turn it all down. Yeah. And sometimes we can feel like we're not doing as much as we could, but we are. Like that act is valuable.
Yeah. This is kind of related to that in a way. This next one that I'm going to talk about, slow activities.
Explain slow activities.
And particularly we appreciate slow activities. We were talking, as most everybody in Louisiana, talks about, you and I during break, we're talking about the LSU game, right?
Right.
An LSU game is not a slow activity.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know what slow activities are, and I know an LSU game is not one.
So here's what I'm going to argue. I'm going to argue that most people can't really enjoy the present moment anymore because their minds and their eyes go toward the future, or something on their phone, or keeping an eye or maybe half an ear on not just the person they're talking to, but the person, over one table over that right?
Yeah.
But people with inner peace embrace activities that encourage them to slow down and be fully present. Okay, so what are some examples of slow activity? Reading a book.
That's a great one.
Tending your garden. Or cooking a meal. I mean, I'm not talking about going to, a fast food place.
Oh, no, we're talking from scratch.
I'm talking about really cooking a meal from scratch.
Yeah.
And preparing it. Maybe you're following a recipe, but you're cooking it, and that's a slow activity. Developing mindfulness and appreciation for whatever process like that you're involved in. So, enjoying talking to a friend and giving that friend or your kid or your wife or husband, giving them your full attention, totally, 100%. That's a slow activity.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you pay attention? When in those moments, is it easier to pay attention to your senses? I would argue yes. You're more aware in those moments of all the senses going on. Sight, sound, smell, maybe taste if there's a meal or food involved.
I would say
touch. Yeah.
I think touch is a part of it. I mean, we've talked so much about energy in the last few weeks. I think that in a maybe abstract way, our sense of touch can feel those energies change.
Yeah. I mentioned the garden,
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you visit a beautiful garden. Maybe someone who's a master gardener who takes pride in their garden, and you hang out in the garden. Or it could be as solitary as a soothing, warm, or in my case, hot bath. When you do that, you have a heightened awareness of back to the present moment.
Yeah.
You have a heightened awareness of now. An enjoyment of deep conversations. That's
another slow activity.
Yeah.
Because you can't get into those fast.
You can't no. And it shows someone is truly at peace with themselves if they're enjoying deep conversation. So,
and I mean, to get deep, we have to listen.
Yes. Maybe we even have to listen twice as much as we talk, right? and even conversations with people we maybe don't know so well, but we're getting to know, maybe even strangers that, meaningful, I'm talking meaningful conversations here. That encourages self-expression. It encourages empathy. It encourages a sense of connection with others. And when you have inner peace, you can put yourself in other people's shoes, which is what empathy is.
Right.
And you can get their perspective more easily. Even if you disagree with them, you're going to disagree with them in a different kind of way. And that, in our world today, we live in this world of cancel culture and outrage. It seems like people are arguing who can get more outraged than everybody else. Reactive, yeah. Us against them. You're not if you're.
But this ever changing us and them.
Yeah, and it's about dividing and conquering, and so that's lacking. And what the only thing that's going to solve that are deep conversations. That word conversation, conversion. You can recognize conversion. We have to be willing to have those conversations. People who are at peace with themselves support others. Talking about our fellow humans, there should be more support between us. When we offer our time and support to friends, to family, to community, you're promoting this sense of purpose, this sense of belonging. And even small acts of kindness benefit both recipients, the person that's doing the kindness and the person that's receiving.
It's not a one-way. It goes both ways.
Yeah. It may in fact be the key. Supporting others may in fact be the kindness that you give to others may be a key to happiness, and that's helping others. But maybe we really haven't realized this yet.
Well, I think that there's this counterintuitive idea that if you're at peace, you'll be kind. We just have it backwards.
Yeah,
that's all.
Feelings follow behavior,
and so the feelings follow the behavior.
You got it.
If you're if you're unsure, fake it till you make it.
There you go. I love it.
Just try.
You sound like you've got some strategies for living. You sound like you've been listening to some of this
here and there. I've taken a couple of notes.
Yeah. So we're talking about the behaviors that you're going to show if you're likely at peace with yourself. Talking about that this evening here on Strategies for Living, and we're coming back. Welcome back. Welcome back into 101.7 FM 710 Keel. David McMillian, Jimmie, Bryant. We're talking about if you're showing these behaviors, if you're doing these things, then you're likely at peace with yourself. You know, there's a movement going on and has been for a few years, Jimmie. And what I mean by that, if you look around, there's more yoga classes out there. There's more Tai Chi and Qigong and all of that kind of stuff out there. We could almost call it a movement, a mindfulness movement, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if you're engaging in any of that mindful movement, the practices that go with that, those practices will enhance your body awareness. They'll reduce stress. They promote relaxation. And there's a lot of opportunities, that you can find. And I can think back 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it was rare to come across a yoga class. Now they're all over the place.
I mean, all
as
over
an
the
example,
place.
okay?
Yeah.
So, most everybody that I'm aware of, and I'm including myself, could use some tune up there, So, engaging in the mindfulness movement,
and they've got some truly great short beginner yoga practices that you could find on all manner of streaming service, whatever you use. I'm sure that there is something like I'm talking about. Just 10, 15 minutes.
So hopefully we've given some ideas that stir. Everybody's different. And that's the beauty.
Right.
That's one of the beauties of life, right?
Yep.
We're all different, and yet it's so paradoxical. We're all so different, but inside we're all the same. We're all one.
Yeah.
And it's a paradox. Everybody's got a different life journey. There's not one that's right and everything else is wrong, or vice versa. So
that's true.
When we think about stuff like this, it maybe enhances and gives us ideas. So I hope we've given some ideas for all of us to
I hope so.
Consider and contemplate this evening here on Strategies for Living. Remember, feelings follow behavior. You said it earlier, Jimmie. If you want more of this, act as if. Fake it till you make it.
Act as if.
Yep. Folks, thank you for tuning in to Strategies for Living. We have been presented by Prize Fest, a festival of film and food and music, fashion, and stand-up comedy. We're brought to you by the Robinson Film Center. Brought to you by Azalea Cleaners, by Pintail Roofing, by Learning Rx, by Hempress, Cannabis with Love, 3766 Uri Drive in Shreveport, and by the Shreveport Little Theater. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call, and what would you say, and why are you waiting? Make the call. For Jimmie Bryant, I'm David McMillian. See you next time, right here on Strategies for Living.